One of the key points Phil made was about 0 days.
I think he meant 0 days off. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually something...
Or no 0 days.
I saw this in a Reddit post years ago before we started Mandarin Blueprint, and there was this really just motivated guy giving a post. And that was one of his mottos, like, never have a 0 day. Never have a 0 day. Just do, if you've done the whole day without doing something towards whatever it is you're working on, in this case, obviously Chinese, just do one character, just watch one video, just, listen to one 10-minute podcast, whatever it is. Just do something before going to bed. Never have a 0 day. So he continues, says, working through the levels, you definitely reach a point where not working through a lesson or practicing pronunciation throws your day off. Phil also mentioned that there will be days when you will do a lot of videos versus days when you might only do one. When you have days where you are working through a lot of videos, be sure to use time boxing, the method that Phil discussed in previous videos. In level 5, I saw the chance to do several characters, as many in this level are related, and I abandoned time boxing to try and power through them all. As a result, I had to take a day away from what he burnt out, basically. Had to take a day away from working on new characters because I really didn't develop good movie scenes for them, and I've had to spend more time reviewing them. However, the day spent away from characters meant reviewing a lesson from pronunciation mastery course, as well as working on Anki. So, sorry, he didn't really burn out in this case. That can happen if you try and do too many at one time. But he just, I guess you could just say he rushed through them. Now, we often encourage rushing through them, or just to try and take the training wheels off and see how fast you can do it, and then just see what Anki says. But one thing he mentioned there was time boxing. So do you want to tell them a little bit more about that?
Sure. So, well, I think this makes a lot of sense what he said here, because time boxing is basically where you take, it's pretty ideal to do with the pronunciation course and the character learning course if you're at the beginning. So time boxing would be, for example, you take 10 minutes and you focus only on the pronunciation course. Could be the reviews, could be the actual video content, and let's just say you do that for 10 minutes. Then you take a 2-minute break and you check your email, you check WeChat, you do whatever during that period of time, and then you start 10 minutes on a different task. So you go to 10 minutes of the Mandarin Blueprint method and learning a character. Or there's a million iterations you could do. I'm learning for 10 minutes and then I'm reviewing for 10 minutes, or I'm learning, whatever. But the main thing is that what you're doing by doing this 10-minute, 2-minute break and then switching between activities is giving your unconscious a chance to process what was happening in the first session while you're doing the second session. So again, it's unconscious processing, but it's incredibly well researched that if you let something process in your unconscious, you'll be able to more quickly recall it and bring it up you'll be able to more quickly acquire the knowledge and learn it, in that way. So I think that this is probably because, if you imagine that you're just doing characters, you're kind of focusing the energy in your brain, like the actual energy moving between neurons on one spot. And just like if you're at the gym and you're lifting weights, if you only did one exercise and you never move to another exercise, you're going to wear out that muscle group really quickly. Well, maybe you're wearing out that neuron group too quickly if you only focus on one thing. So by time boxing, you jump around to different things and give yourself an integrated chance to, give your brain a chance to process it and rest.
But I would say that as you progress through the Mandarin Blueprint method, it becomes automatically varied anyway, because as you progress, the more later on, the characters have, I guess you could say, more bang for their buck. Like, so you learn a character and it can unlock 3-5 words, and each one of those 5 words might have a couple of uses each, and each one of those uses has a sentence and then dialogues, and later on we're also adding stories and stuff like that later as well. So as you progress through, you're going to naturally, so you wouldn't have to categorize them. You could just say, I'm going to spend 30 minutes doing just Mandarin Blueprint method, but do it all in order. So a word comes up, you go and learn that word. Or then you review you create the flashcard for it. And you maybe review the flashcard, and then you look at the sentence, do the same thing, and then go back to the next character, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. There's actually a lot of theory behind why we were happy to do it that way, because, again, like you said, it automatically mixes it up. So if you have a make a movie lesson followed by a new vocabulary unlocked lesson, you're going from one way of thinking, which is a mnemonic visualization to remember everything about an individual character, to learning how that character combined with the character you previously learned, how do they relate to each other and how can they be used in a sentence? It's just a different type of thinking. So the fact that you're switching around like that can really help. And that's not to say that you can't take another approach where you just say, I'm just going to focus on characters. But if you do that, then definitely at least take a little break every 10 minutes or so. And by the way, we have an article about time boxing. It doesn't have to just be that 10-minute, 2-minute break thing. There's a million other variations. But
check out ajat.com, AJATT, all Japanese, all the time.com. That's where we got really inspired about time boxing, because the official time boxing technique that is called the Pomodoro technique. Sorry, 25 minutes on, 5 minutes rest. 25 minutes work, 5 minutes rest. But there's loads of different variations you can do to mix it up, and you can work on 3 different things, 4 different things at the same time, and all this sort of stuff. So go and check out our article, but it's basically based on his article as well. So you go and check out that too. Learn about time boxing. Get Zen Timer for your computer.
Yeah.
It's a great time boxing app that you like to use.
Yeah, I've used it a lot.
And start employing time boxing, start integrating it into your study routine. It will pay off massively.